Next thing I'm going to do in these body mount channels before I remove this cross bracing is I want to get at least one of these strips on either side, just one side, one up here and one down here. Over there I make sure I'm good and secure to the actual tub of the Jeep before I remove my cross braces. But this is just a piece of 1/8 by 1 inch strapping, and I've bent that into shape of this floor here. And I've ground my welds down here so they're nice and, flush, squared up, and this is looking like a pretty good fit. I'm gonna tack this in here now and show you that one done. There, I got that strip tacked in place, and that will keep this body mount channel really square on the tub. And I'll do the same thing down here under this body mount channel, and then once that's done I'll be ready to take this cross bracing off. Bending this up was kind of a pain in the butt. It took a lot of time. I did that all with a hammer, but I think I'm going to try doing, because I've got this little jig made up with some bolts welded to a piece here. Now what I'm going to try doing is putting this in here and just giving a good push and bend it. These two are spaced enough to put this bend in here, and this bend matches this contour here, and this one real close to the middle one on the end here. It should be a little closer to get the bend right, but it has to be this thickness to get the material in there. This is a test piece that I had bent up with this, and this will match the channel right here that the seat belt bolts into, or the seat bolts into, excuse me. And as you can see, that's not a perfect gap there. That's gonna be, it'll focus. That's gonna have to be worked with a hammer to get that perfect. Alright, I'm gonna try making this bend, and should take time to say, this is really not what you should be doing in the milling machine. This isn't good, but I don't have a table device, so this is what I got. This is looking good, except for this bend here, it needs to be a lot tighter. So I'm gonna try putting this in my smaller section and see what happens. I gotta put a little heat on this so it bends easier. Here's the final product sitting down in here. That jig I made up, it kind of worked, but kind of didn't. Anyway, this took a while, about another hour to shape this piece, which sounds like a real long time, but there's a lot of hand fitting. And I'm happy with the way it fits up in there. Now there are some spots on this floor, like right here in the middle, where it's kind of bowed in. I'm thinking I'll have to I'll put this in place on the corners, and then I'll try to push it back out with that clamp thing I made. This is all tacked in place. Time to start removing this X brace. I got that inner strip tacked on, and that's really starting to kind of bring it together. It's starting to look a little more finished now. About to weld the last strip onto the passenger side body mount channel rail, and I figured I'd show this before I put it on. This is all bent up, and I think I did this one pretty fast compared to the rest of them, and kind of is a shame you get the best at it, when you're done. Oh well. You might wonder why I'm putting those strips alongside the body mount channel rails, and here I'll show you with the original one. You can see these two broken off bolts here, and this nut. This nut is for the seat. This is where the back seat bolts down, or the back of the seat bolts down, and these tie down the cage. You can see here on the tub, right here the cage goes in through there. I cut out a piece of metal right here to fill this gap, and I've got it held there with these little magnets, and it was a pain getting it all set up in there, so I'm gonna hurry up and weld this before it falls out again. Just got this fully welded up here, and I get this looking pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna bother with grinding these smooth just because, well, it's underneath. Not really gonna see it much. Here you can see the template I made, cut out to get this next profile. I'll transfer that onto another piece of strapping and get it cut and ground to shape, which takes forever. I've got these strips welded onto the body mount channels on both sides, top and bottom, or inner and outer, I guess I should say. And now I'm gonna shift my attention to finishing up the front half of these. And this is the original bracket that held the battery in place, or is it that side? Either way, there's a bracket just like this on either side. And originally, you can see the way these bolted in place on the original. Right here, these two holes, and I've modified mine, and the surface where the forwardmost body mount sits is flush with the top of this, which runs the length of the rail. So this is looking all different up here, and I gotta figure out a way to get this all tied in and either mount this bracket in its original form, or what I was considering doing was using this 10-inch wide plate to put right across here flush and just weld that up across the length here. And I'd obviously have to, you know, cut and modify this bracket. And the only problem I have with doing that is that's the same mounting location as these step sides use. Well, I guess it's not step side, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm kind of leaning towards making a modified bracket and whatever rock guards or steps I'm going to do on the side. I have to modify those also, or just make my own. Well, that's where I'm at. Anyone has any suggestions what I should do with this, you know, let me know. Give me a comment. I'm still thinking.